posting up on all these platforms to be sure I get the word out, and I'm hoping you all get the word out. Let me move my phone up here in my man cave. But yeah, this is exciting for this Saturday, November 11th, right, at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I thought that would be easy for folks to remember. 11/11 at 11, right? November is the 11th month, the 11th day at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Can't get any easier than that, right? So, but yeah, I'm excited about doing this free webinar and start getting some discussion going and getting some, promoting my my company, Love the Game 24/7, on assisting student athletes and parents on multiple scholarship opportunities. Hey, I appreciate it, Jesse, man. What's up, bro? I appreciate you sticking with me. I ain't forgot about you now. I'm just getting things lined up, and definitely you're gonna be back on. We're gonna be doing some things for sure. Also, Jesse, since you're on here, me, Todd, I got an older brother. My older brother, Pat, our older brother, Todd, and our older brother. He's a coach up in Lakeland area, Polk County area, and JT, John Taylor. Yeah, we just started a little podcast, just talking about different things, and we're gonna have different guests on there. And I shared about having you on there, so that's a separate thing from Love the Game 24/7. But I'll get you information about that. We're gonna be in contact. But yeah, tonight I just wanted to come on because I'm trying to get everything squared away. Yeah, that's right, brother. Yep. Nothing happens overnight. Yeah, and we gotta glean from each other. We gotta be there for each other. Absolutely, brother. We're gonna get this thing rolling. Hey, there's room for everybody, right? We all come from different things. There's room for all of us, and we need to make sure we be there to support one another. And I appreciate your support. Absolutely. That's how we do at the Wood. That's how we do. That's how we were raised in the Bird, right? That's how we did it. Family, support. Yes, sir. So I'm on here this evening. Glad you guys can join me. Up here in the Love the Game 24/7 Coach Smith Man Cave. I still got some work to do up here. I'm getting some stuff organized. My sports theme, because that's all I love. I'm a sports fan. 100. And so I just want to take some time this evening. Probably pretty much I'm going to be on every night, just doing a short promo for the free webinar that's coming up this Saturday. So, tell all your parents that that have kids playing sports from middle school to high school, right? Because really, like I said, if you hadn't started something by middle school, you're kind of late. We gotta get the ball rolling. And see, a lot of people don't understand how this thing works, and just like we didn't initially growing up, but I sure did make a point to learn it when I had my own kids coming up. So I wasn't going to let what happened to some of us, even though we still made it. A lot of us still made it, even though we didn't have that support, just like a lot of the people made it. But a lot of people need to get this information up front, right? So that's why Love the Game 24/7 is going to be doing the free webinar. And I'm going to use that opportunity doing the free webinars each week. I'm going to do it. More than likely, it's going to be on Saturdays at 11 every week. I'm going to do a free webinar, a lot of content. A lot of information, a lot of helpful information that student athletes and parents need. And it doesn't matter what sport. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. The recruiting, mastering recruiting, it works the same no matter what sport you play. Right. That's right, Jesse. Yeah, we missed out in some way, or it was just a little bit delayed, but we still got there, right? We still got there, but it didn't have to, and it shouldn't have been that hard. And it's amazing how things are still difficult. And that's why I love the game 24/7 with Coach Smith is coming out. And we're going to get, we're going to hit these topics when it comes to recruiting. And, and like I said, I want to help coaches do better also. It's not just for student athletes. I want to help coaches do better or be better coaches. As a matter of fact, I just joined a thing with the NFL, former NFL players, about trying to help coaches be better. I'll have to give more information to you, Jesse, about it. Yeah, access to information is key. And here are former NFL players, and I'm trying to think of the one brother's name, but you know him, Jesse. He played DB for the Patriots. He's kind of one that's behind this. Him and a couple of other former pro athletes that see that same concern about coaches being better mentors and examples to our student athletes, our male and female student athletes, because it's some of this has gone on too long, way too long. You understand? Way too long. And some parents got to be sure that they do a better job, because you have a part to play in making sure your student athlete and all student athletes, not even your child. I made a point, not just my sons. I made a point to get in coaching to be sure all young men, not Rodney Harrison. He was a cornerback, not a safety. And he's a top executive, something with the NFL offices. And I know you know him, but not Rodney Harrison. But he's with the league office, but he played DB with the Patriots. But anyway, getting back on what we were talking about, is there's a need, and there's also there are people out there that are helping, but there are some people out there that are taking advantage of parents who really feel like their kid has the ability to play at the next level. And not saying that they don't. And I'm not calling their names, but I just know, even when I was going through with my sons, I was like, man, I know this stuff. I'm not paying somebody that kind of money, with some things that I already know. But there were some things that I realized, oh no, I need to pay money. I gotta come out of my pocket with some things. It wasn't just about knowledge. It was also, when I did get that knowledge, how can I better help my student athlete be ready and prepared, right? Because there's some things that I couldn't do, but when I got the information of who I need to be connected with, and I didn't have any problem investing in my kids, because that's what it's about, putting an investment in. But I'm not just going to put it in anything, and I'm going to do my homework and make sure that when I did put money towards things to help my kids, whether it was sports, whether it was then their music, their arts, and other things that they did, oh yeah, you gotta invest. You gotta monetarily, you gotta come out your pocket with some things. That's expected, because the return on it when they do get that scholarship, oh man, parents, you're gonna have some financial freedom, major financial freedom, when your student athlete achieves that athletic scholarship, and what it costs to go to college today. It's going to be major financial freedom for parents, so you got to invest, and that's what Love the Game 24/7 is about. We're about making sure that we help student athletes and parents master the athletic recruiting process. That's what we're all about. And I'm going to have a lot of things, I'm going to have some steps that you should be going. If you're a middle school kid, this is what parents should be doing. 6th and 7th grade. I don't care if whatever sport it is. When it comes to training, working out, lifting weights, I know all this stuff because I've done it. It's in my spirit. I know this stuff because I did this stuff since, Jesse, doing lifting weights and training, running track and all. I got all this stuff in my head from years of just doing this. And even as I was coaching for over a decade, getting on my student athletes on, because I wanted them to be ready, when they got to the next level, and made sure that they performed at a high level in the classroom and on the field, whether I was coaching track or football. I want them to be sure they understood what it means to compete. And that's what we're going to talk about Saturday at the free webinar. What does it mean to compete? That's the first thing. Um, and so we're going to talk about these things. And then as I build on this, preparing my digital course that I'm going to release in 2024 to dive deeper into some things when it comes to recruiting. But it's not just about getting likes and all that and follows and all those things. That's great, but that's not what it's about. It's about what does it mean to compete, right? And parents, you got to be, there's some things I had to learn, as well as a parent, being a former athlete as well. So this is all about getting you educated. Yep, just about getting educated on the business of sports. There's some business of sports in high school. You better believe it is. I tell you right now, Clearwater Central Catholic, where I coach most of my years, it's a powerhouse down in Pinellas County now in the state of Florida. We were a 3A school, and we would go once we got that program rolling. We would play 5A schools, 7A schools, 6A schools, and beat them. We would go. Our coach would travel anywhere and made sure to make sure we did that, because when it got time for playoffs and making a championship run, you better have your kids ready. They better be able to know what it means to compete and persevere and deal with some tough situations, come from behind situations, all those types of things. My father used to tell me, man, you need to be a student of the game. If you want to make it far, be a student of the game. And I used to wonder, student, man, I'm going to play football. And he's like, as you get older and grow up, I understood what he mean. You got to understand, be a student of the game and understand why you running certain plays, why you have the strategy should be this way, and because he trained us that way when we were young boys about being a student of the game and studying, and also he would tell us about the business of sports. And there's some business of sports, because I'm telling you right now, CCC, man, is rolling. And there's some other schools as well, but just because I know the history of how we started out, we had a coach that wanted to be sure our kids were ready and understood what it means to compete. So we would step outside, and when we first got back when, it was Coach Davis' second stint at CCC, and, Coach Davis was back in the Lakewood days, so Lakewood High School, not junior, Lakewood High School, senior high school. He was back in those early days at Lakewood and helped build Lakewood back home to what it is. And so, he took that same mindset and even better than what it was back in the day when we were at CCC, at Clearwater Central Catholic, man. And we built that program. It's a powerhouse. His son-in-law is taking it over, and he's rolling with it. He's a former Miami Hurricane state national champion. So you know what his mentality is coming from that type of program as a player. And then he was a coach at Florida State, the strength and conditioning coach at Florida State. I hope to get Coach Harvey on here, to talk about, from a high school perspective, high head coach perspective. But, there's business in sports in high school, and then it goes to a whole nother level when you get to college. And our student athletes need to benefit from that. The NIL, hey, that should have been, available to student athletes for years. That should have been available. Now, granted, there's some tweaking that needs to happen. We all know that nothing's perfect. But you're not going to tell me it shouldn't be NIL. Yes, it absolutely should, especially coming from, family where you don't have much money, and a lot of student athletes come from that humble background. And so that's what we want. That's what we need to help teach some of you parents and student athletes about the business of sports and what it means to compete. You got to compete in that classroom to make sure you got the core courses that you're supposed to have, and the GPA you're supposed to have, and the test scores you're supposed to have. Everybody want to say, oh, they put these obstacles in front of us. Well, deal with the obstacles and take care of it so you can be on that field, on that court, on that lacrosse field or whatever it is, on that soccer field, on that track. Okay, because that's what the recruits are looking for. Are you able to cross these initial hurdles? And if you can cross these initial hurdles, they already know in some cases that you can play football or basketball or baseball. They already know. Now, baseball is a little different because you can go to the pros right out of high school, so you have that option, with baseball, that if you are good enough, that you can come right out of high school. which is cool. You know, basketball used to be that way, but yeah, they put it back where you got to go to college for at least a year. Yeah, you know, yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. The video game PlayStation, yeah. I remember that, Jesse, yeah. Man, I remember that shoot because my son turned me on to that because they love them video games. He's like, "Oh, Dad, you know, we got there's all this stuff that you can do in this game." I remember when all that stuff happened, you know. But I also remember too when they had the college, like you saying, Jesse, the college version on that PlayStation. Man, that was cool, and it was that game made probably billions of dollars off student athletes. You're right, exactly. Yeah, I got what you're saying, Jesse, about about the PlayStation. That's the business of sports because they were using kids' name, image, and likeness, and they weren't getting you know, making any money on that. But PlayStation, the NCAA, and possibly the schools are making tons of money off our student athletes. And so yeah, that was a great tool, you know, for even teaching kids, man, about how to watch film and understanding coverages and different things. My son, being a quarterback, you know, that, you know, he soaked up everything I told him, you know, from what my father told me as a little boy. He soaked it all up. Both my boys did. But in being a student, and you know, right now, still today, you know, never have to ask my son, is he studying? Sometimes when I'm talking to him, he's like, "Oh, Dad, I'm watching video." You know, he's in the NFL. You know, he's trying to stay on top of it. But you got to put those things in your student athlete at an early age. You can't all of a sudden try to turn that on when you get to the NFL. That's why some guys, you think there's some real talented young men, but because they don't have the habit of understanding what it means to compete by studying that video, studying that film, and you think you can just go out there and ball. No, because you going out there balling with a guy that did his homework, right? That did his studying. And if you didn't do your studying, you know, that's how you got to stay ahead of the game, man. That's how you continue to keep yourself valuable so you can change, you know, legacy for your family. You know, I don't care if you're an attorney, it doesn't matter. You better do your studying. You better understand what it means to compete as an attorney, as a doctor. Doesn't matter. It's competition, everything. But the first person you got to compete with, you know, I ain't giving everything away now. I can't give everything away before Saturday. But the first person you better compete with is yourself and all those things that you have to do. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Saturday. And, you know, I'm getting excited and fired up now. So I'm hoping some of you all, you know, getting excited and fired up. But you need to make sure you tell all your friends, you know, I'm going to put this question out here. What student athlete doesn't want to listen to what Love the Game 24/7 is going to be talking about when I'm saying to you that my goal is to help you get multiple offers? Who doesn't want this? Who wouldn't want that information? Right? Right? Why wouldn't you want some information? You know, and possibly be willing to pay a little something for it to get even a little more, and even have some one-on-one coaching, you know, if that's needed. You know, just to make sure you're getting your kid in that position to be able to compete, you know, because there are a lot of scholarships. There are a lot of schools. Okay. There are a lot of schools that have athletic scholarship money. And if you learn what it means to compete in the classroom and in your sport, you can make things financially easy. So you're not worrying about, that's what's great about earning an academic scholarship or athletic scholarship, because there's some kids who get, you know, like I said, I'm a college administrator in financial aid office at State University. Been doing it almost 25 years. You know, there's some kids that get full rides academically because they just, you know, they just smart. And when you can go to school and not have to worry about finances, not have to worry about your housing or a meal plan on how that's going to get paid, but because you understood what it meant to compete, you earned that scholarship that got you some peace to where you can be successful in the classroom. I can go to the classroom and I don't got to worry about finances because this scholarship that I've been working for since I've been a little boy, little girl, right, is paid off. My parents, you know, they can come up, they can travel because they got extra money now, you know, finances, where they don't have to worry about paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for my education because they invested in me you know, with the look, you know, they didn't pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you shouldn't be, you know, but it's going to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars later on when that son or daughter of yours that's a student athlete get that full ride scholarship. And then you can travel and come see them and do all the tailgating and enjoy the atmosphere, you know. But then, hey, you got life now. Things happen, so you gotta. That's why we got to talk about all this stuff now. You don't want to talk about it when it happens. So that's what Love the Game 24/7 is trying to help you understand. You don't want to have to wait and deal with these things when they come up and hit you in the face. No, there's some things you need to talk about, you know, before anything happens, so you are somewhat prepared. Yeah, exactly, Jesse. You know, it frees up your focus. I can focus when I know I don't have. You know, everybody in the finances is the biggest concern, man. How we gonna pay for things? And so when you have that peace, man, you can focus. You can zone in on what you're supposed to be doing. You know, at a high level, and then that's going to allow you to when you get on that field, you know, especially, you know, in practice. It all starts in practice. You know, what are you doing in practice, right? We want to, you know, when I coach, I'll tell my kids, hey, you know, make all the mistakes on Monday as much as possible, so we can not make these mistakes by when Friday night comes, right? So, you know, I never, of course, we're going to get on the kids, you know, but I'll get on my kids later in the week if they still making the same mistakes like they were doing on Monday. Like, no, we talked about this. I mentally talked to you about how you need to focus and zone in so you don't make these mistakes when it comes Friday night. So Wednesday and Thursday, that stuff should be cleaned up. We shouldn't be jumping off sides and having all these penalties, you know. So as a coach, man, I would always put that in my kids' mind early in the week. Like, okay, hey, make them mistakes on Monday, make as many as you can. But come Tuesday, I better not see them same mistakes on Tuesday. And then come Wednesday, we need to get better. And you have to teach your student athletes, you know, how to think like that. You know, we cut back on mistakes. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're not going to make a mistake, because you're going to make a mistake. You're human. You're not perfect. You're going to make a mistake. But hey, let's try to make the mistakes on Monday. Let's get all the errors and issues. You know, I got to stop because I'm all hype. I can't give all my discussion stuff away on Tuesday night. But yeah, you know, that's what we're gonna be hitting on those on that topic and dive into that about what it means to compete. So this is what Coach Smith is bringing. That's why I told you I'm bringing the smoke, y'all. Right? I'm bringing it. You know, I'm bringing the for real. Okay, because I'm passionate. I'm passionate about this thing. So you're talking about somebody, and that's another thing we're going to talk about in my free webinar. You know, another one of my topics of discussion. But I'm passionate. You know, this is my, you know, I used to be a full participant, you know, as a player. Now I'm a full participant as a coach, teaching, educating, right? So this is my new way to run the football, because I was a running back. This is where I get hype, you know, and helping kids sit up at that table, and they have options. You have options, right? And there are some kids who didn't get options, but should have had some options, or should have had some better options. But because they waited late in the game to get started, they don't have the options that maybe somebody to the left or to the right of them. Now, granted, there's some kids who are just blessed physically in their DNA, right? They're just some kids that, you know, they're going to get the offers. They're going to get offers even if their grades aren't right, and then they'll try to, you know, because they're just some, you know. But that's just few and far between. For those of us who have to work a little bit harder, right? Because we weren't blessed. I wasn't blessed to be 6 feet tall, and, you know, muscular. I was blessed to be almost 5'10" and muscular and fast, right? And I worked on that to make sure I maintained that speed and quickness, and being a student of the game like my father taught me. So, but yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So, you know, I'm excited. I get lit, boy, when I'm talking about sports and just want to help student athletes, man, get it right. And some of them ones who are just you know, I know they have that ability, man, but they just needed somebody to come alongside of them and help show them how they should have done some things different. Okay. How some parents should have not just relied on the high school coach doing everything. Right. You were 500-600 pounds as a freshman, but boy, you sure enough stretched though by the time you left the wood. I know that. You were well over 6 feet, but you were still 100 pounds. That was the issue. Yeah, you were still 100 pounds soaking wet, even though you were over 6 feet tall. So you should have got with me, Jesse, in that weight room and show you how to get it done. But hey, that's okay. You still made it, brother. We still made it because of how we were taught, that community of people that we all grew up around. And that's important as well. So just be sure this Saturday, I put my link. I'm gonna share this, and the link is gonna be in my bio. But what I need for folks to do is, because it's gonna be a Zoom, but I have a secure website that I'm trying to build my email listing to continue to promote what I'm doing, and so people can tell other folks, because it's all about word of mouth, right? And thank God for social media. It's great. It's a great tool to have. It has its positives and negatives, but I think it has more positives than it does negatives. I absolutely do believe that. But then it's all up to the user and whatnot. But also, like I said, I'm trying to build my email listing, and I have a safe website. So to do that, when you fill out and register for the free ebook and the video on the 6-step method driven. So you need to, I would like for folks to sign up and do that, so I can get your email, and then I can send you the Zoom link once I get the email with you registering. So if you go to the Linktree link that's going to be in the bio when I share this video on Facebook, IG, and YouTube. So get out there, man. Follow Coach Smith with Love the Game 24/7. Follow, like, share, subscribe. You all know what time it is, right? Spread the word. Help Coach Smith out with Love the Game 24/7, so we can help you student athletes get multiple offer opportunities, and your parents of you student athletes can have some financial freedom. Amen. Right? Some financial freedom. I appreciate the love, y'all. But that's what it's all about, man. Just my mom didn't have to. My mom still this day could not tell you how much it cost me to go to college. My brother and I both took on that burden. My mom has no clue, but my mother only got to see us play college football one time in the 4 years that we were in college. One time, and that's when we came home to Florida and played against UCF their last year in Division II football before they were making the transition. So that's why I know NIL. Don't tell me the athletes don't deserve it. Yes, they flipping do deserve it, because a lot of them parents can't travel. But if that young lady or young boy in college has some NIL money that he can help pay for his mom and dad to fly up to see him, sometimes at a away game. Sometimes it's good to see your mom and daddy, right? Sometimes it's good for student athletes, especially going from Florida to Iowa, and lost my father as a freshman in high school 2 weeks before my brother graduated high school from Lakewood. And your mom leaving your mom home by herself because there's no man in the house, so don't tell me NIL is not important, because NIL is very important. And then if you got a teammate that don't have money that you can be a blessing to, if you got a teammate that's you just cool like that. And I'm sure a lot of guys, we help take care of each other when we're in college, your family, and I know if I had money, I would do it from one of my teammates. They didn't have NIL money like I was making. Man, just let me know if your mom need or your parents want to fly up. I'll pay. That's what NIL is changing the game, man, with a lot of that. Because some guys who I may not be a huge name, but I may be a big enough name to where I'm getting some NIL opportunities to be a blessing to help my family, right? So don't tell me NIL is not important. It is very important. But like I said, go to my Linktree link when I put it in the bio. I have a website. that takes when you register and get the six-step method driven video and the free ebook. It's gonna send me your email, so then I can get that link out, my Zoom link out to people to be able to join on November 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern time, right? And get this free webinar series that I'm going to be starting, talking about different content and also promoting my digital course that I'll be releasing in 2024, early 2024. So I'm excited about it. I got excited tonight. I'm gonna get excited again tomorrow talking about it, I'm sure, as we get closer to Saturday. So be sure you pass on. Hey, Jason, man, appreciate you joining me, man. But get the word out, man, about Love the Game 24/7, helping student athletes and parents to master the recruiting process, their recruiting process, right? So we're gonna do this webinar on Saturday, okay? So be sure, you spread the word. Like I said, follow, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate that, Jason, man. Absolutely, bro. But I'm trying to help as many student athletes and families as much as possible to understand how this recruiting game works and how you can help yourself get multiple offers, right? And it's a process to this. There's some steps, right? There's some levels to this thing, okay? There's some levels. Okay, Jason. Hey, have them be sure to go to my link tree, Jason. I'm gonna put it in my bio, my link tree. It's Linktree / Love the Game 24_7. But I have the link in my bio for folks to go out there. They need to watch. I would like for them to get the free ebook that talks about my 6-step method driven on the acronym driven, on what that means. And it's a video that I did on YouTube that breaks that driven concept down, that I think every student athlete needs to listen to, and parent. Okay. And I'm starting this at this you can't start this in high school. If you're in high school and this starting, you're kind of late. It ain't too late, but you're kind of late. Well, you got the Coastal Carolina for good. I got a former student. Man, I wish I had my hold on one second. I got one of my former players from Clearwater Central Catholic that's a 5th year senior at Coastal. Jason, now that you mention that, I'll tell you right. I'll give you his name in 1 second. I'm up here near Coastal, Myrtle Beach. That's Myrtle Beach, where my wife is from. Well, she's from Florence, but she also grew up partly in Myrtle Beach. So if you're going up to App State too, okay, App State, man, yeah, that's great football, brother. That's some those aren't shabby schools. That's some great football. That's some good football. Hold on a second, I'm gonna tell you. Get this boy. He was a D lineman. He was one of our D linemen. Real good kid, man. Real good kid. I'm in the Wilmington area. Yeah, I'm in Wilmington. I've been here a couple of years in the Wilmington area, bro. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna tell you. Let me get my self situated here, and I'm gonna tell you exactly. And make sure you go talk to this kid when you get there. 1 second. I'm on Coastal Carolina's website right now, and I got a kid. The kid at Coastal played for me at CCC all 4 years at Clearwater Central Catholic for Coach Davis, and the Newton kid that's at Illinois right now, who's supposed to be the top D lineman in the nation. That he'll probably go in the 1st or 2nd round. He'll probably go first. It's a good chance he'll go 1st round. And then his brother, the other Newton kid, the brother, is a wide receiver at Toledo. And he'll probably be a late draft pick, preferred. I think he can get drafted if he has a good pro day or whatever, or if he gets invited to the combine. It'd be great if he get invited to combine. I didn't think what you call him graduate. Let me get this. Yeah, Kennedy Roberts. is one of my former players, D. Lyman. Awesome young man. Awesome young man. Make sure. I don't know what position does your so you go into that game, okay. What position does your nephew play? Or your youngest son? You said, okay, your youngest son, not nephew. So what position does your youngest son play? Yeah, Kennedy Roberts. Oh, he's a left tackle. Oh, cool. Okay, sweet. Oh, hey, brother, let me tell you something. You got a tackle. You got an offensive lineman. Man, you know how bad they need offensive linemen in college. Look at D.R.I.V.E.N, right, at Colorado. One of my former college teammates grew up and played with D.R.I.V.E.N in high school. He actually lives in Colorado. So when D.R.I.V.E.N came out to Colorado and took that job, he's at every home game. He's at every home game. You know, I just saw him. I just went back to Morningside for an alum event, and one of my former teammates that got inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I talked to Johnny Brown, is his name. He was a running back with D.R.I.V.E.N in high school at North Fort Myers. And but man, you got an old lineman. Man, let me tell you something. Get your son. I hope he wrestles or does the shot put or discus, because that's what's missing. People don't realize. I'm giving you some free information because you're one of my boys, but I'll dive deep in that. Oh, sweet. But make sure you get Kennedy Roberts. But if your son is an offensive lineman, especially if he's a tackle, you need to have him doing some shot putting discus, because that's what a tackle does. Those types of movements, right? That type of balance. And you know, of course, I'm sure he's in the weight room getting strong, right? But people don't understand, man. You need to. That's why it's important to play more than one sport. And I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna get on that soapbox as well. Yeah, Jason. Yeah. But man, yeah, you got a offensive lineman, Jason. Man, get him in track and field, you know, and do some shot put and discus work, man, to teach him how to do the kickback, right? You throw the discus, you got to kick back, right? So it's all about balance and strength, right? Hips, bending the knees. They talk all this stuff about kids being tall. Yeah, Anton, we were there, man. All those guys, JB was there, Anton was there. Anthony Fieldings got inducted into the Hall of Fame. So you know, you remember, Jason, you remember Anthony Fieldings. Oh, he's a disc thrower. Sweet. Okay. But you know, because they gotta understand, even though you might be 6'10", right? You're not playing at 6'10". That means you're standing up, and you don't have any business standing up if you're anybody in football or any sport. You play with your knees bent, right? You got to sink the hips. You got to have loose and flexible hip work, right? So if you got an offensive lineman and he's 6'6", well, he's not gonna play at 6'6", because you got these guys coming off the edge with speed and quickness, right, and strength, you know, or hand quickness. You know, get him in some karate or something, you know. But definitely, he needs to throw the shot, putting the discus in track and field, and he needs to do that so he learns how to sink the hips. Because if you're 6'6", you're probably gonna play at 6'3", because you got to sink the hips, right? You're gonna go down from 6'6" to 6'3", because for one, you got a D lineman like Micah Parsons, who's 6'3", 6'2", but when he comes, he's level to the ground, so he's probably playing at 5'11", 6 feet, because he's sinking his hips and coming around that edge on that tackle. But if that tackle can't use them long arms and sink those hips to stop a Micah Parsons, right? You're not playing at 6'10". If you're 6'10" or 6'9", you're probably playing about 3 or 4 inches lower when you sink those hips and get down there and use those arms, you know. What you saying? Or if it wasn't for Zach Friday, oh, I got you. Yeah, right. Man, that's cool, man. That's good stuff. Yeah, man, it was a good event, man. We're gonna try to come back every year for that, man. And back at M-Side, man, it was a great time. It'd be good to get more people back. But I know how it is, brother. When my son was playing high school ball and going to college, it's tough. But you got to do what you got to do, right? You got to have that financial peace and get that scholarship, right? Absolutely. Oh, you was a head coach in at Washington. Okay, all right, and okay. But yeah, man, you got, you can't, you know, Jason, I played when I was at M side, man. I ran track all 4 years in college. I wasn't giving up track, and I made that clear to my high school coach when he used to try to tell us. I'm like, man, I'm running track. And I didn't miss a day of spring football when I was running track either. Now I didn't do any hitting in football during spring until I got done with track season, right? So, but I told my high school coach, I'm not giving up track, man. If you expect me to be that speed guy and that quick guy on that football field, then leave me alone about my track and field. Because the reason why I can run like I'm running, granted, I was blessed with some speed, but I was also blessed to put in some work to increase that speed and quickness, because track did that for me. Okay, and yep, same for JB, but yeah, so that's why some of these coaches, man, parents, that's why I'm telling you, parents, you got to get involved and know this. But I'm gonna stop my soapbox. I didn't want to go too long, but Jason, tell as many people as you can, man, about Love the Game 24/7, Coach Smith, right? I'm trying to help parents navigate and see you were a coach just like I was, so you understand and know. But you probably one of them few coaches that really helped your kids, not just your kid, but other kids. You want to develop kids. You want kids who that look like or seem like, I had the desire to want to go to the next level. You're going to do everything you did to try to help them get there, right? That's what coaches should be like. If you're not I'm not going to share my quote. I'm going to wait till Saturday, but, something that I like for student athletes and parents to know as well as coaches. But I want to help coaches as well, to be sure. We got to help these student athletes, man. It ain't about us as coaches. It ain't about us. It's about our student athletes. Okay. So Jason, yeah, man, share this, man. I started my recruiting service, Love the Game 24/7, doing a free webinar every week starting this Saturday, November 11th, right? 11 at 11 a.m. Eastern time. 11 a.m. Eastern time. Tell as many student athletes and parents that you know, share the link. Okay. Have them go out there and register. Okay. Have them go out there and register and get my free ebook on the 6-step method driven. Okay. It's out there. I got a free ebook and a video, for YouTube video. And so I have a secure site that when they register, I'll get their email. And when I get their email, I'll be able to send them the Zoom link. Okay. But Jason, I'll be sure I'll send you the Zoom link anyway, so don't worry about it. I'll send it to you, but still I'm trying to build my email listing. Trying to build this business, man, so I can help as many student athletes and parents as much as possible. I appreciate you all jumping on. So I'm gonna get ready to get off this thing. The wife just tried to call me. She's out in Texas visiting that older son, the grandbaby, and we got a new grandbaby, praise God, coming December holidays. So we'll be out in Texas for Thanksgiving and then for Christmas. Oh, I mean, I appreciate you putting it on the Facebook site, man, and let them know to sign up and register. So when I share this video that I'm doing tonight, I'm going to put all that information in there in my bio, the link in my bio for people to be able to do that. So I appreciate you. And Jesse, a hometown buddy of mine was on here tonight as well. He's always on keeping up with everything. So I appreciate you all being here tonight. And so I'm gonna sign out and let you guys get back to your evening. But I'll be doing this. Let people know I'm doing a live every night this week promoting. So you can share my link in my bio. They can go to my Linktree and get to every social media platform that I'm on Linktree, on my Linktree link that I'm gonna put in there, and they can see my live tomorrow, or they can see this live that's being recorded that I'll put out. Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a blessed rest of the evening. Yes, appreciate you, Jason, man. Absolutely. But I'm excited, man, to hear that about your son, man, coming to Coastal Carolina. And make sure you see Kennedy Roberts, man. That was one of my D linemen. That's a good kid, man. Definitely excited to hear that news about your son, man. That's what it's all about. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Whoever want to join me tomorrow night. Peace. Love y'all.